as a supposed patient. So that's why they're getting Harvey out of the country. He may not even be going to a sex rehab clinic. I mean, it may just be saying it. So, well, I know that the stories his brother turned him in, family rivalry. I'm just throwing out the Times of Israel blog because, you know, what would make the New York Times turn? They had this story all the way back as 2004, don't forget. And they've been sitting on it since 2004. Everybody has. Ronan Farrow had this story, took it to NBC. NBC said, you know what you have here isn't reportable. Ronan said, well, yeah, it is. Okay, and he walked down the street to the New Yorker, who took it in less than 30 minutes. Now they're going back to NBC. Why did you spike it? Well, when he brought it to us, it wasn't very reportable. And everybody's remembering what Lorne Michaels said. Well, we didn't do any Harvey jokes on Saturday Night Live because he's a New York guy. Did you see the Obama's apology? My hidden fingers, what did I do with it over here? Now I've got my stacks out of order because I didn't really... Here it is, coming up right here it is. Michelle and I have been disgusted by the recent reports about Harvey Weinstein. There's something... Why are they disgusted by the reports? Why aren't they disgusted by the behavior? You mean you're not disgusted by the guy? You're not disgusted by the behavior? And what is this recent reports? Barack and Michelle O. Michelle O. Disgusted by the recent reports about Harvey Weinstein. So it's the reports that ticks him off, and not what he did. Then the next line. Any man who demeans and degrades women in such fashion needs to be condemned and held accountable, regardless of wealth or status. Any man. Now, we're talking about the Obama's friend and benefactor. There's no need to make this about any man. It's about a man. It's about a guy. They can't specify that they're upset with Harvey. They've got to include Harvey. They don't mention Bill Clinton's name here, obviously, who covered up for him, but they won't do that. That made it happen. So everybody, see it all, never forgets the people that made it possible. And that they've been late to the party as well, just as who have covered up for Weinstein. Will the Obamas condemn that? The last tweet on the subject from the Obamas, the courage of women who have come forward to painful stories. What is this we? You celebrate that courage. You don't. Hollywood doesn't. That's the whole point here. You didn't celebrate Bill Clinton's accusers, and you still haven't. I mean, rape and abuse of women is one of the biggest deals in the Democrat Party of the American. And we should work to build a culture, including by empowering our girls and teaching our boys decency and respect, so that we can make such behavior less prevalent in the future. Now they're even committing to wiping it out, just making it less prevalent. But the point is, Mr. and Mrs. Obama, we have built that culture. It's called the bitter clingers. And guns, we have built a culture. You don't like it. Welcome back, El Rushbo, meeting and surpassing all audience expectations at Wednesday. 800-282-2882. Mr. Snerdley is even now screening calls, determining who among you is fit to appear here on the nation's most listened to radio program. Republican leaders making hay out of this. And I don't mean character whatever of Harvey Weinstein. I don't mean that. I mean, seeing is whatever Democrats think, and what this shows us about the Republican Party and conservatism and what a bunch of whatevers they are. There's all kinds of points to be made here about phoniness, about hypocrisy, people claiming to be the great arbiters of culture and virtue and values, and look at them. Major Democrat, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton tried to give Harvey Weinstein what he was asking those women for. The Clintons gave Harvey what he was seeking from those women, pains and causes, and doing everything he could to defeat Republicans. The gooey and the icky, sticky fingers of the Democrat Party all over this, and it might help if the Republicans God. Rush Limbaugh serving humanity simply by being here. I want to go back to something that happened yesterday on the program, particularly the owner of the Patriots, Robert Kraft. And his point was that, in his opinion, Robert Kraft very hypocritical because Robert Kraft is very devoted to building sports franchises, leagues, and so forth in Israel. And that if this were happening in Israel, if players refused to stand for the Israeli national anthem prior to a contest there, he would make them, his callers, he would force them to. The fact that Robert Kraft doesn't make that happen here was supposedly meant that he wasn't genuinely full-fledged American. Now, I haven't spoken to Mr. Kraft during this football season. I got to know him quite well maybe 3 years ago now, and his late wife, Myra, and they both became really, really good friends. And I just want to tell everybody, he is not at all the man that was portrayed by the caller yesterday. And I'm not, and has their opinions and so forth, but the way Mr. Kraft was described, I've never, ever